Hi Washington County Free Library fans, and welcome to another episode of A to Z World Food Cooking. On this episode, we're going to be doing a fun tie-in to the Fletcher Book Club and this month's read, which is Wonder Woman Tempest Tossed. For that, we're going to be doing a fun Greek dessert, which is baklava. To start us off, I want to go over some of our ingredients. In the front, we have melted butter. We also have our nuts, which are going to be this time almonds and pistachios. I already have them pre-chopped. In our chopped nut amalgamation here, I also have ground cinnamon. You can include cloves if you want. I'm not a big clove fan, so I'm leaving them out. Later on, we'll also be discussing the ingredients that are needed for the syrup that goes over top. I also have my phyllo dough over here. You can't see it right now because I have it under a wet cloth to keep it moist because phyllo dough dries out really fast. So to get started, I'm going to take this into my melted butter, and I'm just going to go over the pan. Make sure it is well coated with that melted butter, the same way you would usually do with an oil. All right, once that is buttered, you can start with your phyllo dough. So I'm going to gently unroll this here. You can see our phyllo now. They're very thin, very fragile. They do tear easy, so be careful. I've already torn my top one, but it's okay if it tears because you do layer these. So lifting it, you're just gonna drop it into the bottom. There are going to be 6 layers on the bottom. And again, that's why it doesn't matter too much if your phyllo tears, because you're gonna be layering it up. So if it tears, most of that will get hidden later. From what you can probably see, I do not have the nails to be working with phyllo dough. Every time you take a break from the dough, it's usually a good idea to cover it back up. I'm going to be working with it pretty fast here for the first minute or two, so I don't have to cover it right away. That first piece tore because it was pretty wet. Now you see that they're a little more sturdy. Third piece. Oh, tore a little there. There we go. 3. 4. My pan's a little small, so I apologize. We're supposed to be buttering these in between. I'm failing on that a little bit, so I'm going to cover this back up, keep those moist, and I'm going to butter these like I was supposed to be doing. When you butter them very lightly, because you don't want to tear it while buttering either. Okay, now that that piece is buttered, I'm gonna uncover this again and keep going. So now that I have my 6 pieces at the base set down, now we're going to add a layer of the nut mixture. So just very gently show you what that looks like. Okay, now we're going to continue doing another couple layers of the phyllo. Okay. And then I'm going to cover this back up so it doesn't dry out. Phyllo is starting to dry a little bit, we gotta watch that. Okay, go ahead and butter that phyllo. In between the layers, we're only going to be doing 4 layers of phyllo. Dabbing motion kind of gets it to stick to itself more. Really gets that butter in there. Alright, so that's layer number 4. So we're going to add our nuts again. The rest of the nuts are probably going to go into this layer. All out of nuts. So we're going to do our last layer. We're going to go back to 6 again. So 6, 4, 4, 6. Okay, we've used all of our butter. That was our last phyllo piece. This is what our baklava looks like. Now, whereas with most desserts, you cut it after it comes out of the oven, with baklava, you want to make sure that you cut it before it goes into the oven because it's kind of hard to cut after it comes out. And with baklava, it has the typical and, what's the word I am looking for? Well-known diamond cut. So we'll go ahead and do that very carefully because our phyllo is starting to dry. It's a little our cut up baklava. So now I'm going to put it in the oven. It's going to cook for about an hour. Okay, so our dessert is going to be coming out of the oven soon. So now is when we want to prep our syrup. I have 2 cups of sugar in here. I'm going to add a cup of water. I'm going to set my heat to just a low because I don't want it to be too high that I burn my syrup. Also going to add a little bit of lemon juice. All right, and I will wait for that to come to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the baklava out of the oven now. Beautiful golden brown. That is how you know it is done. I pulled mine out a little bit before the hour mark. Didn't want it to burn. All right, I think our syrup is ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat off. Now that our baklava is out. Calm down just a little bit. And once your baklava is out and your syrup is done, you don't even have to wait. You can go ahead and pour it right over very carefully. I like to give it a little bit of something to go over. And you get it all in there. Nice, moist and yummy. All gone. And that, folks, is baklava. Enjoy!